We are confronting evil now that is convinced itself that it is righteous. And that combination has always been the most dangerous force in all of human history. So let me start with the war in Iran. People in Washington are talking about Iran as another just geopolitical rival, another regime that we could possibly negotiate, another government, seeking influence. But the regime in Tehran is not just political. The regime in Iran is built on a theological revolution. The clerics that took over in 1979, they didn't just overthrow a government. They built a system designed to export their ideology all across the globe. And what is that ideology produced? Let me talk to you about the actual record in Iran. In Iran, women can be beaten in the street by the morality police for showing too much hair. Young girls have been dragged into vans, imprisoned, and tortured. We saw it a few years ago when the woman who was arrested for not wearing her hijab properly was killed in prison. How about the 9-year-olds that they are insisting are cool to marry now a 50-year-old guy? When there's protests in the streets, thousands are arrested. Thousands are killed. Some protesters are executed publicly. Young men have been hung from cranes. Children are imprisoned. Girls assaulted in prison. You have homosexuals that are thrown off roofs or beheaded in the public square. And it's all being done in the name of God. And that same regime has spent decades exporting the violence and this ideology all across the world. They fund Hezbollah in Lebanon. But Hezbollah was in Venezuela. They arm Hamas. They finance militias in Iraq and Syria. They support terror cells across continents. The revolution was never meant to stay in Iran because it is a spiritual battle for them. It is religious. They believe they're welcoming the 12th Imam, the Mahdi, which this one, the 12th Imam, actually comes back after climbing out of a well, and he rules the world and washes the world in blood. They believe that this is the final battle, and they say all of this stuff openly. But here's the part that should concern everybody, because I don't know how many people are here that have been influenced inside our own country, have been influenced by this. I don't know. Do you know? We know there are sleeper networks that apparently have been activated, but we don't know. We know extremist recruitment exists, but we don't know the scope. But let me bring you here to home, here in New York. We were just reminded how real that threat is just over the weekend. 2 Afghan immigrants, young men, whose family came to this country to escape the war years ago, own, I think, a convenience store, live in a nice house. They decided their faith had been insulted, so they built a bomb. It's called the bomb of Satan, okay? It wasn't fireworks. It wasn't, it was a crude device. Thank God it didn't go off, but it was packed with screws and bolts. According to the FBI, if that thing would have worked, it would have caused more damage in that crowd than the Boston Marathon bombing. Let that sink in for a minute. Hundreds of innocent people on the street, men, women, children, torn apart by metal shrapnel. And why did they do it? In the name of their God.